He washed plates for 15,000 nairas a month, while his father owned half of Lagos. But the day his father died, everything changed, because the richest man in the city left everything to the son he abandoned.
If you're still watching, that means you're enjoying this story. Go ahead, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it. More powerful stories are coming.
Tunde wiped his hands on his faded apron, staring at the mountain of dirty plates in front of him. The smell of oil and burnt stew filled the air. This was his life, a small buka in Surulere. No respect, no future. Tunde, are you sleeping there? Customers are waiting, Madam Bissy shouted from the counter. Yes, Ma, Tunde said softly. He moved quickly, scrubbing harder. But deep inside, he felt like he didn't belong here. Because every night, he kept a secret that could change everything. After closing, Tunde walked home alone. Not to a mansion, not to comfort, but to a small, one-room apartment. He unlocked the door, entered, and sat on his bed. Then slowly, he opened a drawer. Inside it was a photo, a younger version of him, standing beside a powerful man in a suit. His father, Chief Adewale Balogun, a billionaire, one of the richest men in Lagos. Tunde stared at the photo almost at the verge of crying. Why did you abandon me? His voice was almost in a whisper. Tunde wasn't always poor. He was born into wealth. But everything changed when he turned 10. His mother died, and his father changed. He became cold, distant, and one day, he sent Tunde away. No explanation, no goodbye, just money sent occasionally, and silence. Tunde grew up alone, struggling, watching other people enjoy the life that was meant to be his. As a calm young man in his late 20s, Tunde was always bullied by his peers. One morning, while he was rushing to work, 3 guys about his age suddenly gathered around him. Tunde looked scared. What do you guys want? Tunde asked in a calm voice. You don't enter today, one of them said as he rushed at Tunde, smacking him down to the ground. Tunde fell to the ground and got a bruise on his elbow. The other 2 boys started punching and kicking Tunde. After some few minutes of beating Tunde, they all ran away. Tunde struggled to get back to his feet, but it wasn't possible. He felt pain all through his whole body. He sat on the dusty ground and started crying. He felt like the world was against him. One afternoon, a convoy stopped in front of the buka. Luxury cars, security men. Then, he stepped out. Chief Adewale. Tunde froze. His father. Right there. Alive. Powerful. Untouchable. The entire restaurant bowed in respect. Sir. Welcome, sir. Please sit. Madam Bissy greeted, almost prostrating to the ground. Tunde stood still, heart pounding. Their eyes met. For a brief second, Chief Adewale recognized him. Then, his father looked away, like he didn't exist, like Tunde was a stranger. That man owns half of Lagos, one of the customers whispered. Tunde clenched his fist. Humiliation burned inside him. That night, Tunde couldn't sleep. He replayed everything. The look, the rejection, the silence. Then suddenly, he stood up. No more, Tunde said angrily to himself. He packed his small bag. If his father wouldn't acknowledge him, then he would build his own life. From nothing. That same night, after seeing his father at the restaurant, Tunde couldn't take it anymore. For 10 years, he had swallowed the pain, the rejection, the silence. But tonight, it was different. Tonight, he was going to face him. Tunde stood in front of his father's gigantic mansion that stood on the outskirts of Lekki. The lights beaming like the sun, the large compound filled with fleet of cars. Muscled bouncers in black suits stood around the compound, so close to the life that was once his, yet so far. His hands trembled as he pressed the gate bell. "Yes, who are you?" security guard asked through intercom. Tunde swallowed. "Tell him, Tunde is here." Tunde answered. Suddenly there was silence. A long, uncomfortable silence. Then it was finally cut short. "Wait there," the guard said. Few minutes later, the gate slowly opened. Tunde walked in. Each step felt heavy, like he was walking into a past that never let him go. He entered the large living room. Dim lights, luxury everywhere. Then, he saw him, Chief Adewale, sitting calmly, like nothing ever happened. "You recognized me today," Tunde said, his voice shaking. Chief Adewale continued looking at the newspaper in his hand. Ignoring Tunde, Tunde stepped closer. "You looked at me, and you looked away," Tunde said again. Still nothing. That silence. It broke something inside him. "Why?" This time Tunde's voice was so loud that the security dogs outside started barking. His voice echoed through the mansion. "Why did you send me away? Why did you pretend I don't exist? Am I not your son?" Tunde added, tears clouding his eyes. He suddenly paused. Heavy silence filled the room. Then Chief Adewale dropped his newspaper. Chief Adewale finally spoke, his voice calm and cold. "Lower your voice." That was it. No emotion. No apology. Just authority. Tunde laughed painfully. "Lower my voice. That's all you have to say." He walked closer, eyes filled with tears. "I washed plates today. Plates. While people praised you like a god." His voice cracked. "I starved. While you lived like this." He gestured around the mansion. "Do you even know what it feels like to be nothing?" Tunde whispered. There was a long pause. Then suddenly, Chief Adewale spoke coldly. "You came here to cry, or to leave." That hit harder than anything. Tunde stepped back slightly, like he had just been slapped. "So that's it?" Tunde asked coldly. But Chief Adewale didn't respond. "You know what? Keep your money. Keep your mansion. Keep your fake life." Tunde spat angrily. He turned to leave, but then stopped. "One day, you'll look for me," he said without turning. "And I won't be there." He started walking away. Then Chief Adewale called him. "Tunde." Tunde froze. First time in years. His father called his name like that. Slowly, he turned back. Hope flickered in his eyes. "Just a little." "Yes," Tunde said softly. There was a long pause. Chief Adewale looked at him. Really looked at him this time. His expression changed slightly. For the first time, emotion. "If I were you, Chief Adewale started. He paused, to choose his words carefully. I would stay far away from this family. Confusion filled Tunde's face. What does that mean? Tunde asked in total confusion. Chief Adewale stood up slowly. Then he said, it means, you're safer being nobody. Silence filled the room. Stop speaking in riddles. What are you hiding? Tunde said, anger slowly building up in his insides. Chief Adewale stepped closer. His voice low, dangerous. The less you know, the longer you live, Chief Adewale said calmly. Are you threatening me? Tunde suddenly asked. Chief Adewale leaned in slightly, whispering. I'm trying to protect you. That was it. The moment everything changed. Because for the first time, Tunde realized, this wasn't just rejection. Something was wrong. Something bigger than him. But before he could ask another question, leave, Chief Adewale said, turning away. And just like that, the moment ended. Tunde walking out of the mansion. The rain had already started falling harder now. He came looking for answers, but left with more questions. What did Dad mean by, you're safer being nobody? He thought to himself as he went home. The next morning, everything changed. A black car stopped in front of his house. A man in a suit stepped out. Are you Tunde Balogun? The lawyer asked. Tunde hesitated. Yes, Tunde finally answered. The man adjusted his glasses. I'm sorry. Your father is dead, the lawyer said. There was sudden silence. Tunde's world stopped. Dead. Just like that. And, you've been named in his will. The lawyer added. The news of his father's death didn't sit right with Tunde. Something felt off. A man like Chief Adewale didn't just die. Not like that. Not suddenly. Tunde walked into a private hospital to see his father. The lawyer had given him the hospital name. That was all he needed. Answers. Good evening. How can I help you? The young receptionist asked. I'm here for Chief Adewale Balogun. Tunde said, trying hard to stay calm. The receptionist hesitated, then lowered her voice. Family only, she said. Tunde leaned in slightly. I'm his son, Tunde said, irritation almost showing in his tone. The receptionist suddenly paused. She studied his face, then pointed down the hall. Room 307, she said. The door creaked open slowly. Tunde stepped in, and froze. His father was there, lying on the bed, still, silent, lifeless. For a moment, everything inside him broke. You're really gone, Tunde whispered. He walked closer slowly, emotions crashing in. You couldn't even explain anything, he continued, but broke halfway. Tears formed in his eyes, but he held them back. Then, something moved. His father's finger. It twitched. Tunde froze. Heart racing. Dad, Tunde muttered in shock. Suddenly, machines beeped faintly. His father's eyes slowly opened. Tunde. Chief Adewale managed to speak. His voice weak and barely audible. Tunde stumbled back in shock. You're alive. They said you were dead. Tunde gasped. Listen, carefully, Chief Adewale said, struggling to breathe. Tunde rushed closer, panicking. What's going on? Who did this to you? Tunde asked immediately. Chief Adewale grabbed his wrist weakly. Surprisingly, his grip was tight. "Don't trust anyone," Chief Adewale whispered. "What do you mean? What is happening?" Tunde asked, still confused. Chief Adewale coughed, struggling to talk. "The will. It's not just money," Chief Adewale continued, still whispering. Tunde leaned closer. "It's a trap," Chief Adewale said, his voice shaking. A sudden silence enveloped the room. "A trap? For who?" Tunde asked. Chief Adewale tried to speak again, but his eyes suddenly shifted toward the door. "The door is slightly open. Someone is watching. A shadow moves quickly. They're here," Chief Adewale said in a terrified whisper. "Who?" Tunde said, turning sharply. Suddenly, the heart monitor spiked wildly. Beep, beep, beep. Doctors rush in. "Step aside. Now!" The doctors shouted. Tunde is pushed back. Chaos. Noise. Panic. "Wait. He was talking. He's alive," Tunde shouted. No one listened. Seconds felt like forever. Then, flatline. Beep. The room went silent. Tunde's world crashed. Again. But this time, something was different. Because now, he knew. His father didn't just die. He was killed. Then, a nurse walked past him quickly. Dropping something. A small folded paper. Tunde picked it up. His hands were shaking. He summoned up courage and opened it. Inside, just one line. "If you're reading this, you're already in danger." Tunde looked up, but the nurse had already gone. Disappeared. Then he found out. The will wasn't just inheritance. It was a game. A deadly one. At the lawyer's office, Tunde sat nervously. Other family members were there. Rich, elegant, and clearly angry. "Who is this one?" a woman whispered. The lawyer cleared his throat. "Chief Adewale Balogun has left. His entire empire. To his son, Tunde Balogun," the lawyer announced. Gasps filled the room. Chaos. "That's impossible," one of the relatives shouted. "He's just a nobody," another one shouted. Tunde sat there, speechless. Everything to him. After everyone left, the lawyer handed Tunde a letter. He asked that you read this alone. The lawyer said. Tunde opened it with shaking hands. Tunde started reading the letter. "I know you hate me. But I didn't abandon you because I didn't love you. I did it because my enemies were watching. If they knew you were my son, they would have killed you. I made you invisible, so you could survive. Now, it's your turn. Be stronger than I ever was." Tears rolled down Tunde's face. Everything he believed was a lie. Days later, the same buka where Tunde worked at. The same people. The same noise. But this time, a convoy stopped outside. Everyone rushed out. Luxury cars. Security. Then, Tunde stepped out. In a suit. Confident. Unrecognizable. The owner froze. Tunde. Madame Bissy stuttered in shock. Tunde smiled slightly. "I came to buy this place," Tunde said. Madame Bissy was in shock. Including everyone who knew him before were shocked. It was something they never saw coming. Weeks later, Tunde stood in a glass office, overlooking Lagos. The city that once ignored him now belonged to him. His phone rang. It was from an unknown number. He answered. A voice spoke. "You think your father's enemies are gone?" Tunde's expression changed. Cold. Focused. "They're coming for you next," the voice added. Tunde smiled. "Let them come," Tunde said with confidence. He looked out the window. Because this time, he wasn't the abandoned son anymore. He was the billionaire they should fear. But what Tunde didn't know was that the biggest betrayal was still coming. That call changed everything. Tunde didn't panic. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He smiled. "They're coming for me," Tunde said in a calm but dangerous tone. Then he paused. "Good," he said, smiling with content. Within days, Tunde did what his father trained him to do. He started digging. The office desk covered with documents, files, photos, names, transactions, hidden accounts, old enemies. And one name kept appearing. Over and over again. Mr. K. No face. No full name. Just Mr. K. "You killed my father," Tunde whispered to himself. "And now you want me." His eyes darkened with a smile of mischief. The same relatives who mocked him were now seated across from him in the boardroom. Nervous, careful, watching every move he made. "Tunde, we should work together as a family," one of the relatives said with a fake smile. "No," Tunde cut in, calmly. "You stopped being my family the day I became nobody," Tunde said with power surging through him. Ever since he became the heir, he became more powerful than before. That's what power and money does. Shock spread across the room. He slides a document across the table. "You have 48 hours to return everything you stole from my father." Tunde's tone was confident this time. Then he leaned forward. "Or I take it back." The boardroom was cold silent. They didn't realize it yet. But the boy they ignored was gone. One of the relatives, Chief Kunli, refused to obey. Big mistake. That night, police stormed his warehouse. Illegal goods, hidden money, evidence planted perfectly. That same night, Tunde sat in his luxurious living room watching news on TV. Businessman Chief Kunli arrested, the female reporter on the news announced. Tunde sipped his drink calmly. "That's one," he said softly. One evening, at the underground parking lot of Tunde's company, a woman stepped out of the shadows. Elegant, confident, dangerous. "You're moving too fast," the woman suddenly said. Tunde turned sharply, fully alert. "Who are you?" Tunde asked with confusion written all over his face. She smiled slightly. "Someone who kept your father alive, longer than he should have been," she said. "Explain," Tunde said, moving closer to her. She stepped closer. "Mr. K isn't just one man," she said, then paused. "It's a network. Politicians, businessmen, even people inside your father's company." The woman revealed. Tunde's expression hardened. "So I'm surrounded," Tunde said. The woman nodded. "Yes, you are." Then she leaned closer and said, "And one of them is very close to you." Then she disappeared into the darkness. Tunde, still with shock on his face, got into his car and drove home. Few weeks later, Tunde sat with his most trusted advisor in his office. The lawyer. The same man who told him about the will. "You need to slow down. This is dangerous," the lawyer said. Tunde watched him carefully, too carefully. "How long have you been working with them?" Tunde suddenly asked quietly. The silence in the room grew thicker and thicker as minutes passed by. The lawyer froze. "I don't understand," the lawyer stammered. "Don't lie to me." Tunde slammed a file on the table. Papers scattered, revealing bank transfers, secret accounts. "You think I wouldn't find out?" Tunde scoffed. The lawyer exhaled slowly, then smiled. "You're smarter than I expected," the lawyer said, still smiling. Tunde's jaw tightened. "Your father trusted me," the lawyer said. His voice calm now. Then he paused. "And that's exactly why he died," the lawyer added. That night, the lawyer told Tunde to meet with him at a hidden location so he could reveal everything to him. But there was one thing the lawyer and everyone didn't know about Tunde. He was way smarter than his father, Chief Adewale. Chief Adewale knew that, which was why he handed his whole properties and businesses to him. Because he knew how smart his son was. Tunde agreed to meet with him. That night, when Tunde got to the location, it was an abandoned building with the lawyer standing outside in the cold. In his black suit, the lawyer led Tunde inside. It was dark, silent, too quiet. "This is where it ends," Tunde said coldly. Footsteps echoed. More men appeared from the shadows. They all surrounded him. Then, a man stepped forward. Well-dressed, calm, powerful. "At last," the man said, clapping slowly. "The son of Adewale," the man added. His voice sounded familiar to Tunde's ears. Then it hit him. "Mr. K," Tunde whispered loudly. The man smiled. "You're just like him. And just as stubborn," Mr. K said. Mr. K was Chief Adewale's best friend. They both grew up together. Went to the same university. Studied the same course and did everything together. People thought they were twins because they started looking alike. But Tunde never saw this coming. His name was Kenneth. He used a nickname so he won't be discovered earlier. But why Uncle Kenneth? Why? Tunde asked in total disappointment. "You know something, son. Your father thought he was smarter, better, more successful and powerful than I am. But I'm the most powerful one," Mr. K said, smiling to himself. "Is that why you killed him?" Tunde asked, tears clouding his eyes. "Your father thought he could escape us," Mr. K said, stepping closer. "He was wrong. And you think I didn't plan for this?" Tunde said calmly. Mr. K was confused. Suddenly, police sirens. Loud. Men rushed in from all sides. Armed. Prepared. "You walked into my trap," Tunde said with a smirk. Chaos erupted the whole building. Gunshots. Running. Shouting. Mr. K tried to escape. But Tunde blocked him. "This is for my father," Tunde said, his voice low but intense. "You still don't understand, Mr. K smiled. "Killing me won't end this." He leaned closer to Tunde. "It will only begin." Tunde hesitated for a split second. Then the police grabbed Mr. K, took him away. But his words stayed. Tunde sat alone in his office one night. City lights glowing. But this time, no peace. He opened a file left behind. It contained photos, names, powerful people at the top. But he saw one name. A government official. Untouchable. Tunde thought he had won. But the deeper he looked, the more he realized he had just declared war against the entire system. If you liked this story, do well to subscribe, like and comment. More interesting stories are coming.